Anyone who's been a part of the Rhema Media whānau knows about the impact of radio. Why do we do this? Well, it's with people where they're at, journeying through their situations. And I like to think of another organisation that shares a similar heart to ours is Radio Lollipop. Now, they've been doing incredible work in children's hospitals for decades now. And I had the opportunity to connect with Angela Mackie from Radio Lollipop. And so I had to invite her on into the studio to talk about what they do. Angela, welcome to Rhema.
Thank you. Hello, nice to be here. I'm excited to share Radio Lollipop's story this morning.
Yeah, let's talk about this because it goes back to like the 1970s, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, it started in 1978 in the UK and found its way to New Zealand in 1992. It started with a couple of guys with a broadcasting background. The hospital in the UK was massive and they wondered how to reach as many children as possible. And the solution, of course, was the radio.
Yeah. And, of course, it's grown into so much more than just radio as well.
Absolutely. So the radio is the biggest toy in our toy box, but we have a team of volunteers who provide play. We call them playmakers, and play is as interesting and varied and diverse as the children themselves. So, you might be doing arts and crafts, board games. Obviously, music is a big part of what we do. We've got some amazing toys and amazing volunteers, and creativity is a really cool part of it too.
Yeah, I mean, it combines a whole bunch of different things that could float your boat, basically. If you're looking for a way to get involved and make a difference, first you get to work with kids, then you get to play around with them like it's a job, amazing. And then, of course, you can also play around with the radio if you want to.
Absolutely, yes. And whether you're, you might be a presenter type who likes to talk and gets the children live on air, or you might be if you're more play orientated, just getting the kids to listen is quite a fun thing too. And the best part, I don't know if you guys have radio competitions.
Oh, sure do.
And of course, radio competitions need prizes. So there's a whole lot of fun in creating a competition and giving out a prize. And I think, for us, our competition entries include those craft creations.
Right.
And to have a child in hospital send through their art, and you as a presenter get to see that, and you as part of the audience get to celebrate with that child that win, it's hugely satisfying.
So let's talk about these children then too, those who are interacting with Radio Lollipop. What are the stories that you've heard from the kids who have been impacted by Radio Lollipop?
Oh, it's been amazing. I think, so we hear from the parents on behalf of the children. We hear things like, it's the first time I've seen my child smile in weeks.
Wow.
It's, sometimes the children don't necessarily verbalize it, but as a volunteer, you can see it. You'll walk into a room and ask if that child would like to play. And you're met with a shy, reserved or worried child who's wondering what you are actually going to do.
Yeah.
And so to go in there and simply play and have that shy, reserved child finish the night laughing and dancing and singing, it's just so rewarding.
Oh, it sounds magical, especially when you see a suffering child. It's like anyone who's close to you and you love them. You want to take that pain away. And when you get older, you start thinking that you need to give people explanations and things to do and all this kind of stuff. And yet the kids remind you just being there with them does a world of good.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think, and as a volunteer doing that, it's such a wonderful spotlight on your own life. Things can be tough in anybody's life. People face some really challenging things, but when you see a child facing challenging things, it puts your life in perspective. And I just want to add, these children in hospital, they do it with empathy and kindness and just, they're just so lovely and extremely deserving of volunteer time.
Let's talk about the impact on those volunteers then as well, because we've talked about the kids, but what have the volunteers told you about the impact it's had on them?
So it's it's an interesting thing. I think Radio Lollipop will stay with our volunteers for life. Over this last week, we've had a number of volunteers that have left, and they're sort of seeing what's happening at Radio Lollipop, and they're reaching out to come back, and they're sharing these fond memories, these lifetime friendships. And, a lot of volunteers, it can impact on their career. Sometimes our volunteers are younger, and so, it will form their career path. Other times they're older, and it will change their career path. And I think all of our volunteers, the impact it has on them is just such a rewarding experience to see a sick child smile, to know that you've made a difference through the simplest of things. That play is so easy to give and so fun.
So what are some of the ways you've seen people's career paths change then? I'm fascinated by that.
So me personally, when I started, I was an accountant. I enjoyed working with the children at Radio Lollipop. It was a big, long journey for me, and I took the steps to become a nanny. And so now I work with children in the day, and my Radio Lollipop work is more admin in the night. So it kind of, my life flipped upside down with that.
Yeah. But it's being connected to something meaningful, right? That can really just transform what you're doing with your time.
Yes.
Yeah. So this opportunity to work with Radio Lollipop, are we at the moment confined to certain parts of the country, or whereabouts can people get involved if they want to start? This sounds like a piece of me.
Awesome. So Radio Lollipop is nationwide. So we have got stations. We've got the 2 radio stations, one at Starship, one at Christchurch. And then we've got 3 little satellites. We've got 2 in Auckland, one at Waitakere, and one at Kids First, which is in Middlemore Hospital. And then we've got one in Whangarei. So all of our teams need new volunteers. I think particularly in Auckland, Waitakere needs a bit of a boost. But out of all of the hospitals, Whangarei needs the biggest boost. They have a tiny little team. They've got 2 volunteers visiting 1 night a week. They're small but mighty, and we're doing a really big push for them at the moment.
So if you love play, you love kids, maybe you love a little bit of radio, or even just one of those things, you can get involved this morning.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, so look, if people want to get involved, let's give them the channels to go down then. And where should they look to if they want to sign up, or just maybe inquire about how they can become a part of the Radio Lollipop team?
So a good place to start would be our socials. So we're on Facebook and Instagram at Radio Lollipop NZ. Just go there, check out. You'll see lots of photos, lots of fun things that we do. But we're also on all of the volunteer websites. So Volunteering Northland, Volunteering Auckland, and Volunteering Canterbury.
Very nice. So at the very least, you can just search for Radio Lollipop too, and I'm sure you'll pop up in about 400 different places.
Absolutely, yes.
Amazing. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss the next video.
We'll see you in the next one.